my...
I am going to share one of our traditional teaching stories, which is our daughter Dazzy's favorite story. Well, as she says, it's one of my two favorite stories, Daddy. So this is about little turtle and Coyote. One day, Coyote was out running around, and it was a beautiful day, a lot of sun, sky was blue, and there were puffy white clouds, and Coyote was hungry, and he was wondering what's going on in the world, and he thought he heard a funny little sound, so he sat down and listened and listened. And then he got up and ran. And then he sat down and listened and listened. And then he got up and ran. And came up on little bitty baby turtle who was crying and crying and crying. And he said, "Little turtle, I love the way you sing." little turtle's not singing. I'm crying because Grandma's lost. And what had happened, Grandma had said, "Grandchildren, it's a beautiful day. Let's swim out of the river, go up on the bank, and enjoy ourselves." So Grandma started swimming, and all of the little grandchildren followed Grandma. And little bitty baby turtle was so small, it was behind everybody. And it stopped and was looking at the ant people and saw some flowers and went, smelled the flowers, and looked up at the sky and the clouds and listening to the birds in the trees. And all of a sudden, little bitty baby turtle turned around this way and this way, and Grandma and all of the other children were gone. And little turtle was crying, and Coyote said, "Little turtle, I love the way you sing." "Don't be silly, Coyote. I'm not singing. I'm crying. Grandma's lost." "Little turtle, I said I love the way you sing, and if you tell me one more time that you're crying and not singing, I'm gonna eat you right up." Coyote, you go ahead and eat me, and I'm gonna bounce around in your stomach like a hard rock, and you're gonna die. Coyote jumped back and said, "Aren't you afraid of me? Huh?" Coyote, Grandma said not to be afraid of nobody, Coyote. Well, how about if bear comes along with those big jaws and smushes you? Wouldn't you be afraid then? Coyote, Grandma said bear's teeth break on my hard shell. Grandma said so. Well, how about if mountain lion comes along with those long claws and gashes at you? Wouldn't you be afraid? Coyote, Grandma said lion's claws break on my hard shell. Grandma said so. So you're not afraid of me, and you wouldn't be afraid of bear, and you wouldn't be afraid of mountain lion. Aren't you afraid of anything or anybody? Coyote, Grandma, Grandma said the cold, cold water of the river. Ooh. Coyote started laughing and said, "You silly little turtle." And picked little turtle up, ran to the river, and threw little turtle in and sat down. Because Coyote knew that little turtle would drown and float up, and then he would have something to eat. But you know what happened? Little turtle didn't drown. Little turtle swam up and stuck her head out of the water and said, "Oh, Coyote, thank you for the ride. It was a long walk home." So little turtle pulled Coyote, and then you know what Coyote did? Ow! Whoa, 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 whoa. And there was a raven up on one of the trees, and the raven goes, "Ah, ah, ah, Coyote, I like the way you sing." And Coyote goes, "Hush, you silly bird. I'm not singing. Can't you tell that I'm crying?" That's the story of how little turtle tricked Coyote. So, if somebody tries to do something to you, you tell them, "Grandma said, don't be afraid of nobody. Okay. Don't be afraid of nothing." Okay? Okay. Okay. And you can tell them Grandpa Gregory said so also, okay? Yeah. In sharing our teaching stories with our children, with each other, it's a matter of what is it that frightens us, what is it that may harm us, and how do we deal with that as adults, as parents and grandparents in the life of our children and grandchildren. How do we reinforce their sense of security and being loved and being unique and wonderful human beings? So that's that story.